So I am starting again. I will share my screen. So the first thing that you have to do when you are a host is to be sure that people, they know how to mute their microphone, because when you have a meeting, the participant should be mute and only the speaker should speak. So, but if you have an assembly, or if you are host for an assembly or for a meeting of your congregation, you have to be sure that your participants, they know how to mute and unmute themselves. This is something that is important. The second point that everybody should know, is how to go from speaker view to gallery view. So this is for the participant. You have to play between gallery view and speaker view. You have to be sure that people, they know how to send a message to everybody or in private. People, they should know how to rename themselves. And they should know how to exit full screen. Most of your problems are coming because you are in full screen. And when you are in full screen, you don't see all the icons and all the comments that you can use with Zoom. So most of your problem come from this part. This is for me the level 1, the level of the participant. It's not what we are going to do today. I suppose that you know already how to do all of that. There is a second thing that I suppose that already you know.
No. Sorry.
So the second thing that you should know how to share your screen, how to share a video with the sound. I suppose that you know how to move from the mode side by side during a sharing, so you don't have the people on top of what you are sharing. I suppose that you know how to manage annotation and to use the small group and to use the translation. Now, as a host, you should know you should have your own personal Zoom account, or the Zoom account of your congregation that you can use for the meeting. And I suppose that you know how to schedule a meeting and to invite participants. This is what I am the basic things that I will not explain today. This PowerPoint, I will send it to you by chat. You will receive it. Huh?
I go to my...
And what we are going to do today, it's this level. It's a level when you are host, you manage a meeting for your congregation. Let's say for the congregation, because I suppose that you are sister or brother today. So you have to manage a meeting, and you are let's say the technician. But the technician here in Zoom is called host. So what we are going to do today during this meeting, I am going to explain how to name co-host, why the security options are so important. I will show you the difference between spotlight video and pin video. I will show you all the options for the microphone, the option for the chat, and the differences for the record between record on cloud and record on computer. And then we will try to see the polls, the voting, because Zoom proposed a system for voting, how to make small groups, breakout rooms. The subtitle, we don't use it very often. I don't know if you will see it. How to settle the interpretation if you are using several languages, how to do streaming, and how to share your screen like I am doing when I share all the windows to explain to people how to do it. So this is the program of today. I go back and we will start by naming, and we will start in this order. I will stop to share this PowerPoint. Okay. I am going to send it. I am going to send it by chat to you, and I will share. I will share my screen. I will share my screen. So, and you will see that in the chat here at the bottom in the chat, I can share a file that I will find on my computer. So I will look for this file on my computer. That should be somewhere in the document. Zoom. In English. Okay. So, and I am sending it to you. So this PowerPoint that I show to you, you have it on your computer. You can open your chat and you can download this PowerPoint. Okay. So when you are the host, the first things that you have to do is to name a co-host. You cannot do everything alone. If it's a small group, if it's a meeting of 10 people, 10 people, there is no problem. You can manage alone and you don't need to participate to this course. If you have a meeting of 50, 100 people, if you have an assembly that is a little complex, or you ask a technician, somebody to do it with you, or you train some sister like we are doing today, so they can do it for you. And very often I say the dicaster refuse that we are making some chapter by Zoom, and I agree with them. If we don't have sisters who are trained to do it, it's impossible to do it. So it's why it's so important to have some sisters who know how to be the technician, the host of the meeting. So the first thing that you will have to do is to make people co-host. So now Patricia is co-host. How do I do it? I will show you on my screen. I go to the next one, let's say Sister Mary Joseph, and I click on more, and I make this person co-host. Okay, so she can be co-host. And the computer is asking me, yes, do you want to make Sister Mary Joseph co-host? Yes, she will be co-host. Okay, so now I have 2 or 3 people who are co-host. I can choose somebody else. I will choose Adiban Balan, that I don't know where is she, and she will help me, and she will be co-host. So I ask some people to help me during the meeting, and we have always. And if your connection is falling down and you disappear, and it can always happen, automatically it's the co-host who become host. If not, your meeting just close and it's finished. So to be sure that somebody will replace you if something happened to you, you make the first person that you have, you make this person co-host. If you say, no, it's a mistake, I don't want her to be co-host, it's a mistake, you can always remove this person and withdraw the permission. So I withdraw this permission to these 2 sisters that I don't know, and I withdraw the permission to be co-host. Okay, this is the first point that you have to know. The second point that is very important, and I want to see with you today, it's security. You have to know that in a meeting like today, we have reached, okay. In a meeting like today, we can always have a hacker entering in your meeting and disturbing your meeting. This is something that is more and more frequent. So when you are host or co-host, you have a button here that is say security. And in the security, you click on security. And then you have a menu. You don't have the menu because you are not co-host. So you don't have the menu. But when you plan a meeting, you will have this menu of security. This is the more important. In this, you have lock meeting. What does it mean? If I lock the meeting, we are 205. I said, I lock the meeting, nobody else can enter. So you have your capitulant, you have your people of the assembly, they are present. You don't want more people, you just lock the meeting and nobody else can enter in your meeting. You have full security and you can do what you want. You have your people inside and you can do what you want. The only problem is in many countries, and even in Rome, the connection is not so good. So people will leave the meeting because their connection is going, and they will come back. If the meeting is locked, they cannot come back. So what we are doing very often is to enable the waiting room. So the first advice that I will say, it's now, we will do it now, we enable the waiting room. So when somebody arrives, and we still have some people coming, in the list here, in the list on the right, you will see people who are asking to enter in the meeting. And yes, I will admit all of them. But at least you know that some people, your meeting is starting, and some people are asking to enter. This is not enough as a security. This is the first level of security. But a day like today, where we don't know who is entering in the meeting, because I cannot, we have 7 pages, so I cannot follow who is inside and who is outside. When I am speaking, it is a co-host who will admit people, because I cannot do everything. So the co-host is helping me to admit people who are in the waiting room. So it's why it is important. So because I don't know who is inside, the first thing that I will do is I will not allow the participant to share their screen. If you want to share your screen, you can click on share your screen. You cannot share your screen. You cannot send me pornographical image, or you cannot destroy my meeting with a hacker who enter in this meeting now today has no possibility to send me violent images, pornographical images, or something like that. This is happening very often. So the first thing that you do is to say, no, the participant cannot share their screen. But if you want to start your meeting with a prayer, or with somebody who is going to speak, a speaker, or somebody who is going to, to speak or to share, need to share, what do you do? For example, you put this person co-host. For example, Patricia is co-host on the right. Patricia is co-host. As co-host, she can share the screen. She's not a participant. She's no more a participant. She's a co-host. So as co-host, she's able to share the screen. So you just take the list, and before a meeting, I am always asking who is going to share her screen, who is going to speak, and I will make these people co-host. And as soon as they are finished their sharing, as soon as they are finished to speak, and they don't need anymore to be co-host, I will remove them as I showed you before. I will go here and I will say, no, now you don't need, Patricia, you don't need, I withdraw your co-host permission because you don't need to be a co-host. This is what is very important. The second, it's do I allow participants to use the chat? Do I permit also to the participant to rename themselves? Do I allow participants to unmute themselves? To start their video, you can have a meeting without video. and to put annotation when I share my screen. Today, if you want to add some annotation on my screen, you cannot do it. If you have a participant that is disturbing you and should not be inside, you have a chapter, you have a board meeting, and you see that the secretary hunter and the secretary should not be with you, or a sister hunter, I don't know, you don't know how she got the link, and she should not be here, you can remove a participant. Okay, so I have a second camera here, the bottom. I am twice. I don't want this person, so I can remove this person. I click in security and I do it, but it's easier because I see here. So I click here on the 3 white dots that are on the photo of the person that I want to remove. I want to remove this person that is disturbing me and should not be in the meeting. I just click and I remove this person. This person will have to leave. Do I report to Zoom that it is somebody who was a hacker? No, Florence was not a hacker, but I remove her and she has left. She's gone. So as host, your first priority is to ask for help with a co-host, and the second is the security. The security is you have somebody who entered in your meeting and should not be there. The second, this person can destroy the meeting. How? By sharing the screen, by speaking, starting to speak, and with a lot of violence. So when you don't want that, you just said, I don't allow participants to unmute themselves. So now you cannot open your microphone. Try to open your microphone and you will see you cannot open it. I am trying to go again. I will re-enter with the second computer. So you cannot open your microphone because I said you cannot speak. So you will not destroy my prayer. You will not destroy my speech. When you have somebody speaking, you are sure that all the participants of your congregation, of your meeting will not start to speak and destroy the speak of the speaker. So you mute everybody. But very often what we do is we unmute people. There is a question. Some people say a question, how many hosts can we have? I think it's a number of participants. So I think I can put all of you co-hosts. I don't think there is a limit. We had 20, 50. You can put the number of co-hosts that you want.
Laurence, there are other 2 questions about the co-host.
Yes.
Is the co-host on a different computer?
I don't understand. No, the co-host is one person. I mean, it's each one of you have a computer, so it's a different computer. So
you cannot make 2 things on the same computer.
No, I am host. I am host, or I am co-host, or I am participant. If you are a participant, you just have some tools. If you are co-host, you can do almost everything as the host. The only thing that you cannot do, the only difference between the co-host and the host, it is that the host can name the co-host, and the host can settle the interpretation, and the host can do the streaming. There are the 3 differences that the host can do and the co-host cannot do. But today, because Zoom is changing every week. Today, the co-host has access to security. The co-host can manage the breakout room and start the breakout room. And the co-host can launch, and we didn't do it, a poll, a votation. So the co-host has almost the same right as the host. They are almost equal today.
Florence,
yes.
There are other questions. My suggestion is that you go on with your presentation until the very end, and then I will take care of the question and I will help you to answer. Is that okay with you?
Yes, or except if it's question about what the subject.
Yes.
Alors, if I mute everyone, because this is so I will continue with the presentation. You are right.
Yeah, there is a question on cost, but I think it's better because perhaps you will answer during your presentation. Yes, I will take care of the questions. Don't worry about that.
So the second thing that I wanted to so the security, the option that you have about the chat and the option about the microphone. So there is a question about the microphone. When I will stop the chat, so you can see the screen here. So at the bottom, when I click on participant, but this you know, you have the list of participants. At the bottom of the list of the participant, you have 3 dots here. Okay. And as host, you have the possibility to mute the participant when they enter. And it's what we do, because it's very important that people are mute when they enter in your meeting. If they don't know to unmute themselves, it doesn't matter, they will not speak. But if they enter and the micro is open and they don't know how to close it, this is a problem. The second thing, so you put the participant mute when they arrive. The second, do you give them the permission to unmute themselves? Yes. Now you can unmute your microphone if you want. You can unmute and you can mute. I give you the permission to unmute and to mute yourself. Very often, when the speaker is speaking or during the prayer, we mute and we don't give the permission to unmute because people don't need to speak. It's only when we open the question and the answer that we unmute participants. But during the talk, like now, we can say, no, we don't want the participant to unmute themselves. If I mute everybody, I have also this possibility as a host. So I will mute everybody. So I will mute all of you. When I mute all of you, the co-host is not mute. Or if, I don't remember if the co-host is mute or not. The co-host is mute. Yes, the co-host is mute. But the co-host can always unmute herself or himself. So when you mute all of you, when I mute all of you, and I said here, I will say, no, I don't want the participant to unmute themselves. So I will mute all of you. All of you will be mute, and you don't have the permission to unmute. The only one who can unmute herself is Patricia, because she's co-host. So when you know that you have a speaker or the provincial or the superior general was to speak, or the speaker was to give a talk or somebody like that, you put this person co-host or the translator. Very often we put the translator, we always put the translator co-host, because when I mute everybody, the translator can unmute themselves, because when I mute everybody, of course the translator, they are mute also, so they cannot and I may forget to reopen their microphone. So the people who are, I said no, I have 2 or 3 people, they can deal themselves with their microphone. So in this case, you put them co-host.
Florence, can you show it, because perhaps some other people join later? Could you please just don't stop sharing, just show how to share the screen, just to see, to show it, and make the co-host again.
So I will show you. I know Antoine Kerouel, it's a French Jesuit. So I will put him co-host. I have 2 possibilities. I see his photo here. He's here. That's why he's just in front. So I click on the 3 white dots that are here, and I make co-host, and he will be co-host. Or I don't see him. I look for Antoine. I will look for Antoine here. So I click on top right. Oh, sorry. I click here. I see Antoine. I go on more, and I make it host, or I withdraw the permission to be co-host. So if you see the person, I see Mary Pat, so I will choose Mary Pat. It's easy. No, I don't see, and I know that Mary Pat is here, so I will type Mary Pat, what I'm doing very often, and then from here I said I make her co-host. When you have a small group, it's easy to find people, you can see them. When you have a group like today, you don't see them, so you have to use on top here the research of the people. Okay? So this is, so we saw the microphone. So there is, I saw the question, in the version of Zoom that I have no security. No, the security, you will have this bottom of security only if you are host or co-host. Today, you are participant, so you don't have this option. When you settle a meeting for yourself and you are a host, you will get this option. It's only the host and the co-host who can see the security. What the chat? Now, do I allow participants to use the chat? Yes or no? So now I stop the list of participants. So I click on the list of participants. I will put it big. I go to the chat, and here I have the chat. Okay. I have some option for the chat. I go at the bottom of the chat. You have 3 small points, black. There is a possibility. You can save the chat on your computer. You can give to the participant, you can say there is no chat. This, for example, if you put a mass on streaming, during the mass you don't need, or during a prayer online, you don't need the chat. So what do? We said no, the participant cannot do the chat. We say no, there is no way. I was working with one congregation for voting some delegates, even if we cannot do it. But during the vote, there is no chat. We cut the chat. There is, or during a mass, during a prayer service, you don't need to permit to give the permission to the participant to use the chat. Or what can be better, you say only to the host, because if people they have a technical problem, they can just send a message to the host, and the co-host will receive it also. There is also another possibility. It's the participant. They can send a chat to everyone. It's in public, so it's what is happening today. Or you can give also the permission to write in public and in private. So people can exchange, it's what we are doing today, messages between themselves or in public. So when you are the host and before starting a meeting, you have to decide with the organizer of the meeting, what do you do with the chat? What do you do with the microphone? Do you give permission to people to open their microphone or not? Do you give permission to the people to share between themselves without doing it in public? In some assembly, for example, even in UIG, we said, no, we close the chat because it was disturbing everybody to receive a lot of message. And sometimes you say, no, it's an assembly. It's very important that people can share and speak between themselves. They cannot meet. They are not in the same town. They are not in the same house, but they need to share and to write between themselves, even if it's not in public. So you have to choose this option. Okay, so today I will say yes, everyone in public and everyone in private. So you have this option. No, you don't have this option. Okay, so yes, I allow participants to open the chat. Yes, I do. And then inside the chat, I can choose the option that I want for the chat. Okay. I continue. I continue a little fast. When you and then we will see if people they know what is the difference between speaker view and gallery view. I will show it in view. On top right, you have view here. When you click on view, you have the choice between speaker view and gallery view. So if I put speaker view, I will see the person who is speaking in big. If I put in gallery view, I will see the person, I will see everybody. All of you, you can use it on your computer today. It's the level of the participant. The participant can use speaker view or gallery view. But as the host, I can choose, and I will choose Patricia, for example. I will say Patricia is going to speak, or I want her to speak, and she has to speak. She's not speaking, but Patricia, in few minutes, you are a wonderful woman. You are in charge of the communication in UIG. She's not speaking, but even if she's in silence, I can put her in spotlight on the screen. So I will present Patricia. I will say something to Patricia, and I will put Patricia in big. Because we are both of us speaking, I can add a spotlight. So I add, and I have two people in spotlight on your screen. We have finished to speak, both of us. We have finished. I want to remove this spotlight. What do? I do it for each one of us. I go to the three dots, white dots that are on top of my video, and I remove the spotlight here. I just say, no, I want to remove the spotlight. Or I will put me again. I add me in spotlight. And I can do it also in view on top right of my screen. I remove all the spotlight. When you remove all the spotlight, you go back to speaker view, but I don't want speaker view, I want gallery view. So I go back to gallery view. As host, you are the one playing, host and co-host, playing with the spotlight. So when somebody is going to speak, and I will do it again with Mary Pat. Mary Pat, I will put you. You are not speaking, but I will put you in spotlight for everybody because you are going to speak. And I know that we have a round table, and in this round table we will have Patricia. So I will add also Patricia to be part of this round table. I think we can put up to 6 people. I will add another spotlight. Timothy, I will add you also. So I add people in Spotlight. But they have finished their roundtable. The roundtable is finished. So I want to put me, the only one. I am going to go back. I don't add me as in Spotlight, but I replace the 4 of them. I will replace them by me alone. Okay? But I don't want to be in Spotlight. So I will remove me. I can remove it here. You just can, on top left, I remove the Spotlight and I can go back to the gallery view. Now, on your screen, if you want to be in gallery view, you can go to gallery view. I will stop sharing my screen. I will stop sharing. I don't know if you are in speaker view or in gallery view, but all of you on top right of your screen, you have the choice between gallery view and speaker view. Okay, I will do exactly the same exercise, but now not sharing my screen, but I will do it on your screen. So I put Patricia. I will put also Mary Pat. I will add Mary Pat. And both of them, they are participating to a round table. And I will replace them with me, only me. So I replace both of them with me. And then I stop the spotlight. So you don't have the spotlight. So you can go back to the gallery view. So this is your work as host. Your work as host is, I repeat, to check the microphone, to check the security first, to check the microphone that nobody is disturbing, to answer to the chat, to all the questions of the chat, and to spotlight people when they start to speak. You are not host and you are not co-host. So you don't have spotlight video on your screen, but you have another possibility that is called pin. So when you click on the photo of somebody, you have the possibility, you have a menu, and in this menu, you have pin. If you do pin, you can watch this person in big, in air screen. So for example, I will again share my screen. So you see, I will remove the chat, we don't need. So you see my screen. And I said, oh, Rosary, I want to see, or no, let's say, Callum, you have a beautiful picture behind. I want to know what you have behind. So I will do pin to you. And nobody knows that you are in pin because the other people, they don't see that I am putting pin. The pin is only on my computer. But if I put spotlight, it is for all the computer. If I use pin, it's only on my computer. So as participant, you have access to the pin. As host or co-host, you have access to the spotlight. It means you change the view in all the participants of this meeting. And it's part of your work, the work that you have to do.
Lorenzo, may I ask a question?
Yes.
The co-host is a tool just for the version Pro, or it's also in the basic?
No, I think the basic has everything. The basic has everything. It's exactly like the Pro. The only difference it's streaming. They don't have streaming. They don't have poll. They don't have this function, but this basic function, I think the basic they have all of them.
Florence, yes. But it might happen that even though you are host, even though you have a Pro account, you don't have the tool to make co-host the people? No.
Yes. Why? Exactly. Why? Yes. Thank you, Patricia. For and I will. It's at the end of the topic, but I will do it now. I will share my screen. I go to Zoom, and I will go to my account of Zoom. When you are host, you really have to learn how to use your. So I go to my account of Zoom, and I will go. Okay, go. And here I am in Whisk UIG Zoom account. In the setting here, in the setting, there is an option. I don't know where is the option to put co-host. If you don't put this option of co-host, allow the host to add co-host. Co-host have the same in meeting control as the host. If you don't choose, and here it's the administrator who put it by default. If you don't do yes, I allow the host to add co-host, you cannot do it. So you have to do it in the account. You have the same. If you want the polls, you have to do it. If you want sharing screen, you have to do it. So in your account, and if you have some difficulty, but it's very simple, and I think we don't need to explain because it's very well done by Zoom. You have to go to your account, and you have to go to setting here, and in the setting you will find all the yes, the waiting room. I want the waiting room. You have all the options for the waiting room, for the passcode and everything. So sometimes we do that to explain all in details. And if you buy a pro account or business account, and you have some difficulty to choose because you don't know what does it mean, you can always call me, and I did it with many congregations, helping the congregation to settle all the setting, the setting of your personal account. But it's simple. I will, at the same time, I will use the recording. So if I go to the record, because it's what I want to explain also, what is the difference between recording on the computer or recording on the cloud. Here we had the 12th and the 13th of January, we had the Rome constellation. And so they record. When you record on the cloud, you can choose. You record the speaker view, you record the gallery view, you record the share screen, you record the share screen with speaker view. You can also record the share screen with gallery view. We said no, in the UIG we don't need. You can record, you have also the audio, only the audio. And with the business version, you have the transcript of all the meeting. So what I am saying, you get it by writing. So it's pages and pages and pages. It can be useful for a chapter or something like that if you want to get the transcript of everything that has been said during your meeting. You will get it, and you have also the file of the chat. The chat is saved, and you can get it. So this is the recording on the cloud. When you record on the, I will stop the sharing. When you record on your computer, when you have this option to record on your computer, and now if you click on record, can you click on record? You will get a message saying you don't have the permission to record. So you don't have the permission to record. I will share again my screen. It's for, okay, here. So the participant, they cannot record because of confidentiality and privacy. So if you want to record, you have to ask me to record. So for example, I will, who would like to record? Narelle, do you want to record? I will give you the permission to record. So I click and allow to record on local file. So now you have the possibility to record. Please, can you record? You click on record and I can see that if you click on record, I will type your name, and I see just near your name a small red saying that you are recording on your computer. I know who is recording in which computer, and everybody knows who record. So for privacy, you should know who is recording in her computer. And if you don't want, very often at the beginning of the meeting, we will say, can we record? And the participant who don't want to be recorded, please, you close your video and we will not see you. And you even can change your name. It's why we say sometimes people can change their name. So we will not know that you were in this meeting. So I want you to stop. And I said, no, this lady, she should not record. So I can remove the permission to record. So you stop your record. When you record, I will stop. When you record on your computer, you record what you see. If you are in gallery view, you record gallery view. If you are in speaker view, you record in speaker view. If you listen the translation in English, you will record English. If you listen to the translation in Spanish, you will get Spanish. So you record what you see and what you listen to. If you record on the cloud, you record the original for the sound. So the sound is the original. I am speaking when you use translation. And you record speaker view, gallery view, screen sharing, and everything. So you get more option when you record on the cloud. When you start to record on the cloud as a host, you can see, and I will share again my screen. You can see that Patricia has started the record, and people who are co-hosts now, they cannot record in their computer because they were co-hosts. So you can see that I cannot record on my computer because as host or co-host, when you start to record on the cloud, you don't have access anymore to the record on your computer. So please, you start to record on your computer, and then when the people, if you are co-host, you start to record on your computer before you start to record on the cloud. It's a little, you will learn, because when you will see that it's not possible, you will understand for the next time. Okay, I think for the record, I think I said what is the more important, what you should know as a host. I think we have done. Maybe we can answer now to the question, Patricia, because I think we did. I am going fast, I know, and then I will just show you what you need to know about breakout rooms and interpretation, how to do it.
Okay, Flo, I have some questions. A couple you have already answered. This is, I will copy it on the chat so you can read it by your own, because it might be difficult to understand my English, okay? I'm to set up the meetings for sisters. This is the question.
So the audio script, I see the question about the script of the audio. It's possible only with the business version. The transcription is only with the business version, and it's only when you record on the cloud. You don't get it if you don't record on the cloud. the difference between the business version and the pro version. The pro version, you have 100 people. The business version, you have 300 participants. And you have translation. So you need the business version to have the translation equipment. If to buy the business version, you need to buy 10 licenses at the same time. You cannot buy one business version. So very often people will start with a pro version that costs €200 per year with IVA, with the taxes. And then if you want the translation equipment, we bought in UIG, we bought 25. We bought 25 licenses. We are using 5 and we gave them to some congregation, to 20 congregation. Then we couldn't do it anymore because after 20 it was too much work. So Techno, who is maybe here today.
He's here, yeah.
He's here, Giorgio.
I'm looking for him.
They accepted, and I think now they have something like 50 congregations. They bought 50 licenses. And for the congregation, yes, Giorgio, and for the congregation who would like to get the business version, they buy 10 together, and from the 10 they will give one to all the congregation who need the business version. The advantage of the business is you can get 300 participants, but sometimes in the congregation you don't need 300 people, but you can get the translation of the language.
Florence, the question is mine, you can see. I copy it. I'm to set up the meetings for sisters in the General 8. If I open the meeting and turn the job of being host over.
Alors, I will answer to this question after I see also somebody said, we got the add-on that is the webinar. Yes, you can buy a pro version and you have to buy the webinar. That is an option of Zoom. But the webinar, if you use it, it's very nice. It's we don't use it in UIG, the option of webinar, because for us, the more important is that people can see, like today. In a webinar, you don't see the other people. So if you buy the webinar, you will have the translation. So if you buy a pro version plus webinar, you will get the translation equipment. But the cost is more expensive but it's also an option. It's also an option, and you can buy the pro version.
Now answer this question, Flo.
yes. No, because I wanted to finish with the story of the webinar. What did you say, Patricia? It was
it's my name, the question, even though it's not mine, of course. I'm to set up the meeting
for somebody else.
That's right.
So I will settle a meeting. I will show you what do I do. I will show you. So here, I want to settle a meeting. I have the account, so I will schedule a new meeting. Let's do it for tomorrow. At my meeting, and it will be test tomorrow. Voila, for tomorrow. So why they don't want time zone? Okay, so it will be for doesn't want. I'll put 5:30. So I put a meeting for a test for tomorrow. What you have to do? There is two possibilities. You allow participants to join anytime, so they can enter without you. If I do that, they will start the meeting without the host. They can start a meeting without a host. When you allow participants to enter without the host. Okay? Bon. when the person will start, there is a possibility in the profile here. You go to profile on top, and at the bottom you have the host key. I will not show you the number, but here you have a number that you can show. And when the person is asking, I will go back to, so I will stop my share. I will stop the sharing. So this number, if I put, for example, I will say, I go back, Antoine. I will put you. I share my screen. I will choose again, Antoine, and I will put you host, Antoine. So I make you host. You are the host. I can always now is host. I can, yes, but we have plenty of co-hosts, so I cannot do it. I will not get it. But in the list of the participant, at the bottom of the list of the participant, you have here the fact that I can claim to be host. And when I click on claim to be host, I put the number that I show you on sharing screen. So this famous key that I showed you 2 minutes ago, that is on your that is here. This key gives you the possibility to be host. I don't know if I am clear because it's a little difficult. You can always open a meeting. I stop. People can always start a meeting without a host. If they want to be host, or you give them the password and you give them your account, the email and the password, or you give them this key that they will enter and they will be host.
So Florence, that means that, for instance, I don't have the USG credentials, but I want to use the USG license to have my meeting in my congregation. Mm-hmm. You can allow me to do that without using your credentials. Am I right?
Exactly. Okay. So for example, yes, I cannot, it's at the bottom of the list, but we have too many. It's possible when I forgot, but Antoine, you will have to put me host again because I am no more host. So because you do that when there is no co-host and no host, but here we have many people who are host and co-host. So it's Florence, the one who should be host. So you go to my name and you click and you give me the possibility to be host because I cannot be host anymore. So when you don't have, when all the people enter as participant at the bottom of your list, thank you. At the bottom of your list, there is a claim host. We don't see it because we have too many hosts today. But if you start a meeting for somebody else, or somebody will start the meeting and doesn't have the credential, this person can always claim to be host. So you can do the planification of the meeting for all the people that you want in your congregation. You don't need to be here to start the meeting because they can enter without you and they can claim to be host. I cannot show you the bottom because I cannot show you the bottom, but the bottom is at the bottom of the list of participants. Because we are, because I am host, I enter with the credential, so I cannot show you.
There are a couple of questions about this issue, but I wouldn't go too much in depth because we have other questions and then we have the breakout rooms to talk about.
But it's true. It's very important because very often you have one license and you want to share it in your congregation, and you don't want everybody to have the credential, to have the email and the password. So you will have to use it very often. You will have to use it very often.
So we can answer this question. I will read it for you. Where do you enter the password? This famous password that is not the same password that you give to the participants, right, Flo?
Yes, there is a
the password to claim to be host.
It is at the bottom right of the list of participants. You don't see it because we are host. It's only when you enter in a meeting where there is no host. So when there is no host, you can claim to be host.
In this case, today, you are going to put the password there, right?
Yes, exactly.
And
so
this password host, is not the same.
No, it's okay. A number.
Okay. It's a specific number that you as a host can give it to her.
Exactly. And you will find it and you see, you know now where to find it because I show it to you. So I show it to you when I was sharing my screen. I will share it again. It is when you go to your account, you go to profile here. And at the bottom of profile, you have host key here. I don't want everybody to take this host key, that is. So here, and you have a number here. I put a number. You can edit it and you choose a number, you put what you want here.
Florence, and this is for with all the accounts. It's not just for business.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
There are questions, Flo, that you have already talked, so I'm not going in again. Are you going to talk about the remote control option?
The remote control option. What is the remote option? The remote control
when
option.
You as a host, you can control my computer.
Yes. Okay.
My
what is more important, it's as a host, you want to do what I am doing, to share your screen, to explain to people. And very often you don't know how to share this what you see, you explain to people. To share what I am doing now, to share my screen like that, there is an option. There is an option. You have to start the small program of Zoom. When I don't have it here, but you have a no, you don't see it. You cannot see it. Yes. Okay. No, you don't see it. I will try to put it to you. It's not easy. Yes, here you should see it. I hope you can see it. Yes, now it's okay. So you have this small program of Zoom. I hope you know how to get it. When on your desktop, you have this small program. In this small program, when you open it, you open the setting. And in the setting, you have to share in video, no, in here. I don't have it. I don't see it. There is something that should say to show the windows. This is the new version. This is interesting because you have sometimes, no, in share screen, sorry, in share screen, I made a mistake.
There.
Show my Zoom window to other participants when I am screen sharing. So to show the windows, what you are, to explain to people what I am doing, you need to say yes to this one. Show my Zoom window to other participants when I am screen sharing. So you go to setting, you go to share screen, and you have to be sure that this one is on. And when this one is on, you can do what I am doing now. I mean to share your screen and to explain to people what to do. If you don't have this on, you cannot do what I am doing.
Florence, and the other item is enable remote control. Yes,
and then you have the possibility when somebody is sharing, if I ask Patricia or somebody to share the screen, I can take the control of the computer of the person. It's difficult for me to show it to you because if Patricia is sharing, I cannot share at the same time my screen. But there is a possibility. There is two things. First, we choose to have the breakout room. So when I choose to have the breakout room, I don't have the option remote control on my computer. You have breakout room, or you have the option remote control. I choose breakout room, so I don't have the option remote control on my computer. But if Patricia is sharing her screen, I can ask to take the control of her computer. I take the control of her computer, and then I can work on the computer of the person, and I can check what is happening in her computer. This is also an option to help people. This is it's difficult to do it today because if Patricia shares her computer, I cannot show you what I am doing in her computer. I don't think maybe I can do it. I don't know.
You want me to share?
Yes, we never did. But this is to help somebody. I don't know if it's important. So
this is my computer. Can you see it?
Yes.
It's my drawing.
No, I don't have the option. Do you have the option to share? Yes, because you are in. No, I don't have the option. No, I don't have the option. Maybe I didn't permit this option on this one. No, I don't have.
Florence, there is a question, then we have to go to the breakout rooms. The question is around the co-host. Can you assign co-host when you schedule the meeting, or you can do it just when the people is in the room?
No, you do it when people are in the room. No, you cannot do it before. You cannot do it before. Yes, I see somebody saying yes. You can share the screen, and many participants can share at the same time. Yes, it is true, but people can share. They don't share at the same time. They share one after another. So when the person stops sharing, the other one is automatically sharing. But if you want to have two people sharing at the same time on the same computer, you need two screens. You cannot do it in one. What I know, you cannot do it in one screen to see two sharing at the same time. Very often, it's one just after the other.
Florence, I think we have the breakout rooms and the interpretation.
Yes,
they're the most important for the host.
Yes, I will. So I will show you. It's easy. It's not difficult. I will share my screen. So I will settle the interpretation because it's what most of the time people would like to know. So I have a bottom. No. Stop. Attends.
You're seeing the application.
Yes,
Okay.
I am sending. I am going to close this one. No, I cannot share anymore my screen. Yes, because I put, okay. Just 1 second. Okay, so I am back. So you can see my screen. I will show you interpretation that you will get with the business. You click on interpretation. I add an interpreter. Here, or I don't need to add, but here I can choose a person. So I have 300 people that I can choose. I will choose Patricia. I will choose Patricia to be interpreter. So I just click and I choose Patricia. I can choose the language that she will speak. She will speak French. Patricia, we will ask you. I can add a second interpreter. I can add a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one. I think, I don't know how many I can add, but I can add the number that you want as interpreter. I think it's 10, the maximum. Yes, I think it's 10. We cannot get 11. Interpreter, you just choose the person that you want to put. You put the name, and you get Marjorie. Yes, you will speak English to Japanese, and you can choose the people that you want. Okay, so I have 2 interpreters. I start the interpretation. So you will have English, French, and English, Japanese. At the bottom of your screen, in interpretation, you will find the languages. You just need to choose the language that you want to use. Okay? And I suppose in the list of the participants, I can see that Patricia is speaking, is interpreter, and she's speaking in the French channel because it's written FR. So here it's written FR. Patricia is interpreter. She's speaking in the French. I will go and see Marjorie. Marjorie is interpreter. She didn't choose to be interpreter. She has to accept to be interpreter, and she has to choose the language. She didn't do it, so up to now she cannot translate in Japanese. She has first to accept to be interpreter. Okay? Bon. She cannot translate. She doesn't want to translate. I want to change. So I want to change this person. When I change and I put somebody else, I will take again Antoine, who is very good with me tonight. Sorry, Antoine. And I will ask you to translate in Japanese. When I change a person, I don't click end, I click update. And it is a mistake that many people are doing. Instead, when you make a change, instead of clicking on the red button, you click on update. And when you click on update, then you will get in interpretation English, Japanese, and French. So each time you change or you add somebody, I will add somebody. I add somebody. I put a name. I will put Narel because now she knows how to do it. So I will put Narel. I will put I don't know German to Russian, and then I do update. And in the list of the people, in the list here, they will be, if I go to the list, if I go to Antoine, Antoine is, Antoine is, so I will put you co-host, so I will see you. Antoine, you are co-host. So I can see that Antoine is translating with the symbol in Japanese and Patricia is translating in English. I can see in the list of the participants in which language they are translating. I put them co-host because like that, I have them on top of my list. I don't know where is the last one, but I have to go and try to find her. If she's not co-host and I don't know in which language she's translating, I have to look for her and it's too difficult. So to avoid to have this one, I just put them co-host, and as co-host, they are on top of my list. And if I do mute all, I am going to do mute all, and I don't allow participants to unmute themselves, but because they are co-hosts, they can reopen their microphone alone. Okay? Here, you have Italian, because you can choose and you can add in the setting of your account, you can add languages. If I choose Italian, I will choose here, Italian. I do update. Who has Italian in among the language? I want to know, and you will answer to me. You will click on reaction, that you should have reaction here, and you will click yes if you can find Italian, and you will click no if you cannot find Italian in the languages of interpretation. I am asking you to answer to this question. Do you have Italian in your... I stop to share my screen. Do you have Italian? Yes and no. Yes, most of the people, you have reaction. In reaction, you choose yes or no. So, I have 20 people saying yes. I have 5 people saying no. Why they don't have Italian? Because we are in Italy and very often the problem is with Italian. Because if I go, and I will share my screen again, here, if I go to the setting of my account, if I go to the setting here of the account, where is it? In the setting of the account, here. In the setting of the account, you have Zoom provide 10 languages, but I can add some languages. And I will add, for example, I will add Swahili. Swahili. I made a mistake. Swahili. So now we can translate in Swahili. I add Swahili. You will get here the Swahili languages. The only problem is when you add, and I have add Italiano and Swahili, these 2 languages are working only if people have the last version of Zoom. If they don't have the last version of Zoom, they will not get Swahili and Italian. So most of the time, when in a meeting, in a big meeting like that, if people, they don't download the last version of Zoom and they have a very old version of Zoom, they will not get the new languages. So please, or you ask people to download the last version, or you don't use the languages that you have had in your setting. You just use the 10 basic languages provided by Zoom. So in UIG, now we use Russo, Russo for Italian, and people who are speaking Italian, they know that they have to choose Russo until all the congregations and all the people who are using Zoom with us will have the last version of Zoom, and then we will be able to use Italiano. Okay? Breakout room. I have 2 minutes to say no. I don't hear you. What is happening? I cannot hear you. Ah, yes, I will stop. Ah, yes. So why I cannot hear Patricia? I cannot hear Patricia because she's a translator. She's still translating. So I will share my screen. So Patricia is speaking, but she's speaking in the English channel. So I cannot hear her. So I end the translation. She will go back to be participant. So now I can hear when she's speaking. If I wanted to speak with the interpreter, when you have to speak to the interpreter, you have to go to the channel where the interpreter is speaking. An interpreter is not a participant. An interpreter is an interpreter. She cannot speak to everybody. She's speaking only on one channel. I will finish with the breakout room. I use the breakout room. It's easy. So how many rooms do you want? We will do 10 rooms. So the computer is telling me if you do 10 rooms, you will have between 28 and 29 participants per room. Now I will do, I want 20 participants per room. So I will put 14. The computer will assign automatically people to the breakout room, or I will do it manually. Let's do it manually, or I let the participant to choose their room. I create the room. Here I have all the rooms. I can assign people to the room and I choose who I put to the room, or the computer will do it. I choose to do it manually, so I will assign to each room the participant who do it. As you can see, the list is by alphabetical order. So when you organize a meeting, for your congregation, and you will have 50 or 70 people who will participate, just look at the time to make the groups. It takes a lot of time. So what we do now today in UISG, it's we ask people to rename themselves. And before their name, I will ask you to put or the number of your group or to put the language. For example, we will have a meeting and I will have groups with 3 languages. I will have some groups speaking English, some groups speaking Spanish, and some groups speaking Italian. I will ask you to rename yourself, and you know how to rename yourself. You just go on top of your name and you can rename myself. I rename myself and I put my name. So, and I want to be in the French. So I want to be in the French group. So when the person will make the group, she will put all the FR together. If you have 10 groups and you gave the number of the group, people have to put before their name the number of their group. So they will put FR8. I am in the group FR8. And when the host will make the group, when she will assign, she will have first all the letters and then all the number. And it will be very quick to make the group when you have renamed people before. Okay, then after it's very simple. You said the option, the group will be the 40 minutes. Yes, please tell me when it's up, and I will give 15 minutes, a set countdown timer, and I open the room. I send you to the rooms, and just to do it. But I will recreate them and they will be assigned automatically, so it will be easier. Voila, I open the room, you will go to the room. I will close it in 2 seconds and then you will come back. If you, oh no. Alors, people are coming back. I forgot to say something. I forgot to say something. When you send people in this option, in the option, I put the option to allow participants to return to the main session at any time. It means when you are in the small group, I give you the permission to go back to the main room. And when you are in the main room, you will have the permission to go back to the small room. So people who are going to the small room, they can also go back to the main room, ask a question, and go back again to the small room. People can move from the small room to the main room, to the assembly, and going from the assembly to the small group. You have, I said yes, I want people to be able to return to the main session when they want. As host, I can choose in which group I can go, and if I want to visit a room, I just go to a room and I visit the room, and I come back. I do the same and I come back. So the room is not started, but if it was started, I can join the room. It's fast, but it's very simple. Really, the groups are very simple. What you have to remember is to ask people to rename themselves and to put before their name the number of their group or the language. So it's very fast for the host to make the groups and nothing else, and nothing else. There is a question about the polls. I am sorry because I didn't activate it for this meeting. I forgot.
Have it, Flo.
Huh?
I have it here.
Ah, you have it.
Do you want to do it?
So maybe you can send a question because
I don't know. Yeah, I can do it. Just a second.
Okay. Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, the poll is very, very secure. You have two options. When you ask a question, you have two options. One is anonymous and one is not anonymous. So when you settle the question, you have to choose if you want a poll anonymous or not. If it is anonymous, nobody can know who has voted. If you don't put it, yes, you know who did it.
Florence, I have the poll ready. There are a couple of questions here. Sister Margaret, actually, you can use it for chapter, but actually we cannot do it.
We don't have the permission, let's say, we don't have the permission from the dicaster to use it for a chapter. But if you have a board to elect, not for your congregation, but for an NGO, or we are using it for many organizations who are not congregation, they are electing their people by Zoom, and it's very secure. Today, the dicaster is saying no because people don't know how to use it. And I think we can make a lot of damage using a tool that we don't know to use. But I hope that when people will know how to use it, it will be working. There is a question about the breakout room before the meeting. No, it's almost impossible because you can Zoom propose to make the small rooms before the meeting, but the people, they have to be connected and to connect with their personal account. If people are just click on the link that you are sending and they have not opened their personal account, the computer will not recognize them. So no, it's almost impossible, except if it's a small group. But in a small group, you don't need to do it before. But in a big group, very often you cannot make it because I am sure most of you were not connected with your personal account before joining the meeting. So no, it's impossible. I couldn't. We never did it.
Florence, there is no interpretation in the breakout rooms.
No, there is no interpretation in the breakout room. No.
And there is another question about time. If a meeting is timed, when does the time begin? When host is not so rigid, actually. You can, when you schedule the meeting, you can schedule a time and you can open as a host before. You can, if you schedule for 2 hours, say you are continuing, the Zoom won't close your meeting. I don't know if we answered.
Yes, it just with one license, you can get one meeting at the same time. You cannot have 2 meetings at the same time. So the time that you settle when you do the planification of a meeting, it is just to say to other people who are using your account, I am using it from 2 to 5 because I know in UIG, I know that there is a meeting starting at 5. But if there is nobody after you, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just to tell other people, I am using the platform. You cannot use the license because I am using it until 5. But for example, we did this meeting just for 2 hours. I think it was we did from 1 hour. I don't remember, from 3 to 4, and it doesn't matter. I can continue until midnight. But it's just to say to Patricia, I am using this platform. You cannot use it at the same time.
Florence, how do you return to the main room without being recalled to the main room?
When you are in the small room, and we can do a test after for people who would like to do it, but I don't want to take time to everybody. When you are in the small room, you have a blue button that say leave. And when you click on leave and it is blue, you leave the room. When you click on the red one that say end, you leave the meeting. So end, it's end of the meeting. Leave, the blue button that is leave, you leave the room. So when you are in the small room, you have the possibility to choose to end the meeting or to leave the meeting, to leave the room, sorry. But you have to be in the room when you are in the room.
Flo, do you want me to launch the poll?
Yes.
It's interesting who say no. But it might happen that some of you is not able to see it. I just unmute the microphone if they want to talk. We unmuted your microphone.
So I will share my screen.
Stop and poll.
No.
Oh, sorry. Relaunch it.
No. So
sorry for.
Yes. We will relaunch. So I
will do it. Yeah.
Okay. So you will do it again. So you can see what is happening on the screen of the host and the co-host. On the host, you can see I can see that we are 244 and 100, and you see the number of people who are voting. And you can see, so I don't know who is voting what. I just know the number of people who are answering. When we will reach 244, we will stop. Okay. So people continue. When you vote, you have to click on submit. You have a button, a blue button that says submit. When you do submit, you send your answer. So when you do submit, you send your answer. Now we can see, so 177 people said yes, and 2 people, it's here. We have the percentage and we have the number. It is very, very small on your computer. So she stopped, and then she's sending you on your screen. On your screen, you just see the percentage. But on the screen of the host, you see the number of people that you don't have. So we have the number. I will say 99% is 182 people who say yes, and 1% say no. It means 2 people say no. It's on my screen, but it's not on your screen.
Florence, may I add one thing about the cost? You see that the cost have a lot of power, and it happened to me that one of the costs stopped the poll beforehand. So make sure that the people who you are assigned as cost are able and smart to use, and not they touch on go everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Because they have a lot of power actually. So they can stop breakout rooms, they can stop polling. So make sure, just make the cost that you really need.
You have to know also that the co-hosts are not voting. So for example, if you have some election, you have to put the scrutator and the secretary, people who are not voting, they have to be co-hosts. The co-hosts cannot vote. Host and co-hosts are not voting. They cannot vote. So people who participate to the election but are not voting should be co-hosts. At least when you launch the poll.
And to prepare the poll as co-host or host, what I did, I click on polling, that is an icon that is in the bar down below,
yes,
and the Zoom
that is here
sent me in the
bottom
in the account of the OSG.
Here, poll.
I mean, I couldn't do it directly there. I had to go in the.
So when I click on poll, what she's saying.
I have to stop this one.
Yes. So I can share the result, and we can stop the.
Stop sharing. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it depends on me.
Okay.
If you go on polls, you should find this one. It's strange.
And I cannot move it.
Because I did it, Flo.
Yes, yes, you did it.
I'm the cost. You see the power? So when you can prepare the poll while you are scheduling the meeting. You can do it before. The poll is possible. So it's
yes, you
ready.
can prepare the poll before.
Florence, I think we gave them so much information that they are exhausted.
Yes. So I think we reached a time. What we can do now, it's you can open your microphone, and if you have some question, if you want to leave the meeting is finished. What I tried to do is to give you what